What's up everybody, it's Sean here and I'm back today to give you guys a review of the Air Jordan 4 Retro in this Rare Air colorway. This continues Jordan Brand's Rare Air series, which pays homage to Air Jordan prototypes and samples that never make it past the cutting room floor. A couple months back, I reviewed the Rare Air Air Jordan 3s, but this time, the Jordan 4s are getting their shine. So these drop on July 26th, and they retail for $220 US or $280 here in Canada. The official colorway for this shoe is black, fire red, deep royal blue, tech gray, and dark smoke gray. And these will be available in full family sizing at most Air Jordan retailers, including the Closet Inc. here in Canada. The Closet Inc. is an independently owned and operated boutique. They're based right here in Southern Ontario in Canada, and they're my go-to shop when it comes to Nikes and Jordan Retros, and they'll be releasing this pair as well. So if you're in Canada and you're looking to support the independent shops, check out the Closet Inc. I'll link their socials, their website, all that good stuff down below. So check them out, show them some love, and tell them that you heard about them through my channel. So jumping into the details of these shoes, this is your classic Air Jordan 4 silhouette. And overall, it has that same remastered shape where it sits a little bit taller, it has more of a gradual tapered look in the toe box, and it doesn't have that long banana shaped look that some Jordan 4s had back in the past. However, the overall features of this shoe are different from a typical Jordan 4, as again, it pays homage to those prototypes or samples where they have mismatching colors and imperfections. So starting things off with the upper, so this is crafted out of a black colored nubuck. However, overlaid on top of the front toe cap and running down the front half of the bottom of the sneaker, we have this very dark gray, basically black colored suede, and has a bit more of a fuzzy feel to it compared to the nubuck underneath it. For the bottom three eyelets, this is covered in a red colored TPU or plastic lace crown. Moving downwards, we have that signature Air Jordan 4 netting, and then the top three eyelets, this is covered in another lace crown in black, and it's attached to this TPU side wing or flap. Underneath this, we have more of that black colored nubuck. This covers the entire back half of the shoe, and then on the heel, we have this blue colored heel tab, and we have Nike Air branding here in gray. In terms of laces, this pair comes with two different lace options. They come with a flat style black colored lace, along with a vintage looking aged blue colored lace if you want to give the shoe more color and more pop. Underneath this, the tongue is covered in that same netting that we saw on the sides of the shoe, and then the top of the tongue is covered in black nubuck. And unlike a typical Jordan 4 where the patch on the tongue is stitched on, this Jumpman Flight patch is actually secured using velcro. So when you remove it, you can see the words Jordan Rare Air underneath. And I read online that a small fraction of the pairs that were created have gold text underneath this patch instead of the standard white. So kudos to you if you managed to hit on one of those rarer gold text pairs. The back of the tongue is covered in this gray colored liner, and like any other Jordan 4, we have this upside down Air Jordan tag. The back half of the shoe, this is covered in a blue colored liner, and it's pretty well padded and it has a very fuzzy feel to the touch. For the insoles, these come with an actual polyurethane foam insole. It's covered in this blue liner on top, and we have Rare Air branding pressed onto the heel in a mix of red and white. Hanging off the shoe, it also comes with a hang tag as well with Nike Air branding. And then the upper of the shoe, this sits atop a polyurethane foam midsole, which is painted in the shiny blue on the forefoot, black on the top of the heel, and more of an aged looking off-white on the bottom. Encased within this midsole, we have Nike Air technology, both underneath the forefoot and the heel. And then turning the shoe over to the bottom, here we have your typical Jordan 4 outsole, and this is crafted out of a mix of red, gray, and blue colored rubber. We have a herringbone style traction pattern that runs from heel to toe, along with Nike branding visible right in the center. So that breaks down the look and the construction of this shoe. And for those wondering about how these fit, to me these fit like most recent Air Jordan 4s, so I personally went true to size. So in my case, I'm a true size 10, slightly on the wider side. I got these in a size 10 and they fit me slightly snug, but not too snug to the point where I had to go up half a size. So if you have a narrow, normal, or a slightly wide foot, you can go true to size in these. If you have like a really wide foot, I think you might be better off going up half a size. But whatever size you normally wear for recent Air Jordan 4s, I'd recommend just going with that same size for this shoe. I know sometimes Jordan 4s can be a bit of a pinky toe killer around this area right here. I felt a little bit of that chafing on this pair, but it wasn't to the point where it was like really uncomfortable, and I still felt that true to size, for me at least, was the right choice. Moving on to the comfort, so these feel like any other Air Jordan 4, which honestly is not the most comfortable retro out there. For example, I find Jordan 3s, Jordan 5s to be more comfortable than a 4. Maybe it's just because of the shape of the shoe, but they don't really fit my feet the best. It feels pretty firm underfoot as well, but for a casual use shoe, they're gonna be okay. I just wouldn't necessarily wanna bring this shoe if I'm like going to Universal Studios or Disney for a long day. I don't really wanna be walking that many steps in a shoe like this. Finally, in terms of the quality and the craftsmanship, so first off, the material quality on the shoe was pretty solid. It's nothing amazing, but for a mass-produced GR Air Jordan 4, I thought the material quality wasn't bad. The build of the shoe I thought was pretty good. Jordan 4s I've seen in the past have had lots of issues ranging from warped or wavy netting to panels that are just not symmetrical. Maybe I just got lucky, but for my specific pair, I really had no major flaws to complain about, so I was pretty happy with the end result with these. So with all that out of the way now, let's toss these on feet. I'll lace them up and I'll show you guys how these look. All in all, this is a decent colorway of the Air Jordan 4, but I wouldn't necessarily say that this is one of the most exciting pairs that Jordan Brand has released this year. It's still a very solid colorway, but I've seen some people complain online saying that it's more of a children's colorway than an actual adult colorway. I don't know, I don't really necessarily agree to that extent, but because this colorway shares a lot of similarities to a Bred 4, I don't really see myself pulling this pair out of my closet over a pair like the Bred 4s. I'm a fan of this Velcro tongue though. I think this is a nice touch. It allows you to customize the look of the shoe a little bit, but ultimately it's just a colorway I don't really see myself absolutely needing to keep in my collection. So let me know your thoughts. What do you think of this Rare Air Jordan 4? Depending on when you watch this video, are you planning on copying these or have you already? And what are your thoughts of them now that you have them in hand? If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. I'll link my social media accounts down below for you guys to check out and follow. And as always, thank you for the continued love and support. Appreciate your love, the views, the comments, the upvotes, all of that stuff. And I'll catch you all in my next video.